Hey everybody, it's Daniel. I'm back, and guess who's on the couch with me today? It's Matt. He's finally here. We get to record a video together.
Yeah, it's nice to be on the show for once. This is our show together, but if you've actually paid attention to the channel, it's just Dan. The reason for that is I was in Mexico, so great way to start the channel, don't you think, Dan?
Yes, me dying of a cold and you not here.
Yeah, it was great. Mexico for me, cold for you. Worked out well for me.
Yeah, and there's congratulations to be honored here, Matt.
Right? Yeah.
Did propose.
I finally lost my virginity.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say propose to me, but you killed my joke.
Oh, well. So what are we playing today, Dan?
Well, you have brought up the idea of doing Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Now, I used to love the Dynasty Warriors series, as I was saying in my other video the other day, but I stopped at like 3. Because I remember I got like 6 or something, and they changed all the characters' weapons up, and my favorite character and weapons were just gone. There was no more claws or anything, so I kind of got turned off. But you've convinced me we'll go in through this one. So Matt is going to take the lead a little bit. I'm just going to be a subordinate in our army.
Right. Well, and Dynasty Warriors to me has always been a bit of a guilty pleasure. I've always enjoyed playing them, even though, there's probably a reason why you stopped at 3.
Because they're the same game?
It's kind of the same game. The neat thing with Dynasty Warriors Empires, though, is that it gives you a bit more flexibility. You don't have to play through a story. You can kind of create your own story, and together, me and Dan, today, we're going to unify China. Or at least we'll try. It might take a little while.
We'll see. So we both designed custom characters, so we're going to do custom characters. And Matt, you go ahead and you explain your character first.
Well, my character, okay, so first of all, he is the ruler of the empire we like to call ComrAdversaries. So ComrAdversaries is ruled by a cruel dictator, a vampire overlord. So because of that, naturally, he's going to be a pretty evil dude. Which is kind of exciting. It'd be nice to play this game for once, trying to be as cruel and terrible as I can.
I will be playing as his number 2, his subordinate, Kate. She is a character I've run in a bunch of different games, basically the archetype in many games, where she's a cat lady, kind of manipulative sometimes character. So I basically made as close as I could to a cat lady with claws and such, and she's going to be the spy mastery type, secondary type character if I design her that way, and hopefully we'll unify China under our iron boot.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I guess I didn't say my character's name. His name's Victor. It's spelled with a K, so make sure you get that right, in all your fanfics.
Important facts, right?
So today, we'll go a little more into the characters, how we design them. But let's go into how we're going to be setting this game up. So right now we're starting with just the general settings here. Right now, when you play Dynasty Warriors, you played 1, you played all of them. So you don't want to start on normal, because normal is just way too easy. We're gonna roll with hard. I mean, chaos is we're chaotic enough. I don't think we need more chaos. And then we'll kind of go from there. The rest of this you can pretty much leave default, but it's nice the amount of customization you really have in setting up your story. Now we'd go here and we'd select our starting kingdom from the custom unit. Here he is. This is the leader, great hair leader of ComrAdversaries. That's Victor.
Yeah, he's a dashing looking fellow with what looks like he stole the car body off of a motorcycle and using it to beat people with.
I mean, it's not a bad idea if you really think about it. So we're going to grab ComrAdversaries here. We'll get going. Now, this is a quick look at Victor. I mean, so he's all attack. He's a pretty tough guy. Not a very nice guy, if you can tell by looking at him. Now, Dan, why don't we talk a little bit about Kate?
This is Kate, spy master looking clawed lady. She's we kind of both went with like what kind of characters we both make. We tend to steer towards like offense, not defense. So both of our characters are pretty offensively based. She's stealing the claws, which were my favorite weapon through all the Dynasty Warriors games, so I'm pretty pumped to get that back. I was telling you guys on an earlier video, I play a lot of D&D and stuff like that, so I tend to write elaborate stories. So her whole story is, as a young age, when ComrAdversaries was just being formed, at the young age of 10, she started becoming a spy master, wrangling all the local orphans together to create a dynasty of her own.
Yeah.
And she eventually decided to pass off and be a second to Victor.
Yeah, well, she definitely looks like she hangs out with orphans. All right, well, let's it's a great story. Let's leave it there. All right, so we get the duty of choosing where we want to start. Now, there's lots of little things you can look at if you're trying to be strategic. I mean, you get the middle of the map. You start with a really good chunk of gold. That's indicated by the weird circle-looking thing. Don't quote me on that. I'm not familiar with my Chinese currency. But, you take a look, and, I mean, really anywhere is a decent place to start. I always like to start, when I play this game, right in one of the corners.
Holding yourself into we can't be attacked
we
from
can't,
every side.
Right. Well, and on top of that, too, then you can kind of work your way down, and it makes for a really cool visual.
Spreading across the country.
So what are you thinking, Dan? Where should we start?
I'm liking either that top corner in the right there, or the left corner there.
Well, you know what? I do like this one. I mean, it's got a very bad material, gold, and soldier income. But, I think it's a good place to set up shop as the starting point of our dynasty.
Sounds good.
So let's dive right in. Now, just trying to make sure I don't forget anything here, because I know it is a little tricky to navigate these menus.
Yeah, you are all up for this. I have no idea what's going on.
All right. So, the thing that I find really odd about this game too is that it doesn't use the options button very often. It likes the giant touchpad as your start button.
Yeah, that's a couple games have done on the PS4 where they decided to forego the clear start button that everyone calls options. That's clearly a start button.
Right. For the big touchpad button. So let's hit the big touchpad button and get going. Now we'll start using these settings, and you get the nice loading screen. It'll tell you all about the dynasties.
That we're having nothing to do with.
Yeah, this is all just meaningless. But if you want to pause the video here, you can learn about Li Zhu. Otherwise, let's continue. So here's my kingdom. As you can see, I have a giant throne, and Kate gets the floor. So this is the starting phase of the game. So you get to essentially every few months choose, kind of what you're looking to do, right?
So the basic war plan. Our deal of what we want to do.
Right, okay. So then it gives us some objectives on what we're looking to do. Okay, so let's try these. Quests, form an alliance, participate in invasions.
Okay.
Now something's really odd here. We might actually need to restart because we've only selected Kate. So actually, the way it turns out is that the computer is controlling my character.
Oh, okay.
And then I hit quick save because I'm an idiot.
So we need to basically dump some normals into the battle here.
Well, no. So we essentially just have to return to the main menu because I'm stupid. we'll say that. Okay, so I always like to go with this one here, the Gathering of Heroes, because it randomizes everything.
Yeah, all the characters that you play in the main game are just kind of jumbled up and thrown instead of being their customary actual character stuff that you get to build with, right? Like they're not from like their kingdoms from the story. I don't know if any of you really follow the games. They're supposed to be loosely based on the ancient tale of the three cities or something like that.
The Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Three Kingdoms. That's
yeah,
the deal.
It's only one of the most famous books to ever come out of China.
That whole literary importance thing.
If there is an encyclopedia on this game you can read. It's very detailed, and there's a lot of threads. I don't have the time for that.
Well, and I don't have to get details right if they don't.
No, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's all going under our boot. So yeah, as I was saying, so this is the beginning of the game. This is the War Council. So the ruler gets to essentially choose what they want to focus on. So
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, you want to focus on battle. But the thing with focusing on battle is that if you have your computer-controlled players, the computer-controlled players will sometimes start battles with other territories that maybe you don't necessarily want to take yet.
All right.
So I say, why not step on our people and get rich?
Get rich quick.
That's the way I see it.
That's our scheme. Get rich quick.
Now we also want to put on a little diplomacy. You know, we want to be a little diplomatic.
Well, if they're not talking to you, you can't lie to them
and lie and cheat and steal, as the great Eddie Guerrero once said. So this is the plan I've chosen, and me and my one officer have decided to forego this path. Okay.
Me bowing twice, just to make sure you saw it.
Of course. So here's the objectives. Now, the merit reward, those are going to, basically, if you finish these, the merit rewards are going to make your character stronger. It's a really kind of stupid system, but it works.
For some reason, because we built an academy, my character's better at slashing dudes?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, that's where you learn to slash people. So, you know what?
We are University of Slash.
Exactly. So, one thing with my character being a vampire is that you have to execute people, right? So you can't execute people without an officer.
We've put a little bit of our own imposed rule that our vampire lord has to eat a person each chance he gets. So
this is the instructions for being a ruler. I know all of this. Dan doesn't, but he's not the ruler, so it doesn't matter. So this is the first month, January. So there's a lot of options. I mean, there's the personnel, so you can recruit people. That's actually one of our objectives, is to recruit someone. Now, because we only own this slice of land, we can only recruit from this area. Now, all these people generally are just kind of nondescript, generic characters, right? Let's take Lee Roo. He sounds delicious.
Sure.
So please do your best to help our cause. The cause being
feeding a ruler.
Right, exactly. That's always a great way to start. Lee Roo has joined the ComrAdversaries kingdom. So because I successfully recruited one person, I get a title. The titles don't really mean anything. It says acquiring a title will increase your abilities. But, I don't know, I never really noticed a difference, to be honest with you. You just kind of get them as you go.
Well, and considering how automatic that felt, I have a feeling that it'd be pretty hard to get through the game without gaining any titles.
Now, if you...
So to notice the difference, you have to not get them.
If you take a look there in the background, just while we can still see it, you can actually see the logo for our channel on the banners.
We were able to get them onto the banners?
Yeah, Dan's technical genius. Oh, look at that. Apparently we were online. Now we're not. All right. So, if you can take a look at your objectives. Now, we should form an alliance. So,
who are going to be our patsies?
Yeah, who do we think? Now, of course, yeah, I think he would be, you know, a good person to start with, given he has similar drive to us and he's adjacent to our kingdom.
Yes.
Now, who do we want to send? I think we should send Kate.
Yes, our spy master.
So Kate has proposed him with some conditions. Now, she has a 69% chance of scoring here. And she scored with Cow.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Cow just bends to her will, don't worry about it.
Right. Now, for any of you who want to leave a comment, we do know the proper pronunciation of Cow. We just like to call him Cow. It's
milk's good for you.
Yeah, exactly. You bet. Look at these titles.
Yeah, all sorts of titles.
Yeah, we're famous. All right, so
and we've got cherry blossoms in our closed building.
Well, you know, I mean, it's
Game over.
No.
Jeez, man, I thought we were doing a little better than that.
Yeah. An alliance just ends the game right there, especially given our objectives. So the only objective we have left is to participate in an invasion. So we still have a war council that's coming up in 4 months. So we have a little bit of time. We have 4 months to invade a kingdom. So let's do something bad. Something a little rude. So if you see here, there's a column that says virtue. Virtue, when that's going down, that means they don't like you.
Yeah.
So you're levying materials and gold from the people in a region that you rule.
In other words, subjugating our subjects.
Yeah, so, you know, there's other things. If you want to be a goody two-shoes, you can donate to your people. Or for some reason, just building a facility, they get happy about it. Who cares? Let's take some gold and materials from our people.
Sounds good.
Now, what am I going to do? That man had a family, Dan.
Well,
How can you do this to him?
I mean, if it's really a problem, you can just eat one of the members of their family like our Lord does.
Yeah, exactly. I'm setting a shining example. Taking a look here, so the happiness of the people in Zhiliang has decreased. Well, that's too bad for them. So we are getting a monthly income.
Done a great service taking all their money.
Well, so you see here, Liru, because we're trying to get finances, has made a donation to our people to offset what I just did. That can't go. That can't go.
How dare he?
So we could banish him to the wastelands, but that's a crime against the crown. So with a little execution...
I imagine not. I imagine I came to a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Sir Liru.
This is not, it wasn't a shock to me. It shouldn't have been a shock to you. The generals of your kingdom were executed. So we got the Grim Reaper title.
That's pretty good.
Alright, so we have 3 months? 2 months until the next War Council. Oh, so Kate is asking me something. What are you asking me, Dan?
Apparently I'm asking you if the conditions aren't bad. Am I gathering another already?
Yeah, you made another alliance.
Sweet, I didn't even know I was doing that.
Yeah, she kind of just did that on her own.
Well, she is the spy master.
I think it's about time we participate in an invasion.
Alright.
So let's get started with this here. Now, because we have an alliance with 2 other kingdoms, we can request that they send reinforcements to help us. So I'm gonna say,
I'm assuming we don't want to mess up Cow Cow. That's one of our friends.
He's,
right away.
Yeah, immediately. Okay, so going to set Kate here. Now I'm gonna press L1 to select myself. I just need to figure out how to get you to play. What if you press the touchpad? Ah, there you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
That big button, it's a touchpad.
Yeah, the big touchpad button. Oh, and I should probably give us some troops. So we have a pretty good amount of troops.
Flush with the troops, apparently.
Yeah, but if you look at the battle state, we are at a severe disadvantage.
That's okay. We'll balance that out ourselves.
Right. So now the loading. We need to find an appropriate. I'm gonna say an appropriate battle theme.
Yeah.
But let's take a look. So there's all these little options. You can fortify your bases if you really want to be strategic. This is Dynasty Warriors. Nobody has time for that shit.
We're not playing Final Fantasy Tactics here.
Yeah, this is no Ogre Tactics or anything like that.
Hack and slash.
Hack and slash, exactly. Now I'm going to set up some...
Slash and hack.
Right, a lot of hacking. So I'm going to set up my stratagems.
That was a shot at me.
Well, say no more. Okay, so stratagems are basically just abilities that you can use on the battlefield. These are the ones my guy has. I think you can take a look at yours too, Dan, if you go down there. Stratagem settings.
There we go.
Yeah, so you can pick some other ones. Or nope, never mind. You can't. You just suck.
I'm not planning to do stuff like that.
That's okay. All right. So we can also go into our officers here with the weapons. So you can say I got my destructive spear and my iron sword. We don't have any other weapons, so we're not going to mess around with that too much.
Iron sword as soon as I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. You ready to go, Dan?
Oh yeah.
All right. Sounds good to me. So we can choose some cool music.
I'll leave that in your hands there.
Here's my basically my theory. You just mash random.
All right.
And then you get a pretty cool one because they all sound really good.
Why? Yeah.
So let's get started.
You can see my cat lady running like a good cat lady should.
Now, there's one thing about this this weapon here that I really enjoy. Talking about the siege spear my guy at the top has here.
Your motorcycle.
Yeah, my motorcycle, exactly. So if you press triangle, he actually revs it up and gains a speed increase. So it really is a motorcycle in a way. Now, me and Dan are both attacking the same area, it looks like.
Should we be splitting up?
Well, I should probably go back because our base in the top left there is being attacked.
All I remember is you look for dudes with names.
Yep.
And they're normally important to take down.
Yep. And you want to take the bases, right?
Switch that weapon
So.
again.
Oh right. So it's I think R1.
Apparently not.
Oh, there's.
But he switched weapons, and now I have advantage over him.
Well, that works.
So I'll figure out how to properly do that later.
So I'm at the top here. I'm fighting Dio-chan. Now Dio-chan, she's actually regarded as a bit of a. Oh, she's a lady of the night in the Three Kingdoms universe. There's a lot going on the screen, and I'm getting. Oh man, I got my ass kicked.
Oh, you need a hand there, man?
I died. I died once. Yeah, they have some pretty tough units. I guess this is our first battle, so our guys don't have anything going for them yet.
Sure.
That's a little rude, Dan.
Okay, so one question here, Matt, because once again, I played in like 3 where they didn't quite have as many systems.
Right.
I remember like there would be dudes with names on them, and if you killed them, that like changed the way the battle was running. In terms of like base captains or gates and stuff like that.
Right.
Now I've killed this base captain here about 4 times.
Right. So the base captain, he's just a nondescript kind of generic unit. Ah, for. Got my ass kicked.
Oh jeez, Matt.
I mean, I was defending the base. So that's a pretty good start for our video.
All right, I think we're gonna call it here for now, and we'll be back for another one in just a bit. All right.
All right, yeah. See you on the next video.
Remember to like and subscribe and all that junk, okay?